Hazel's in this morning. Excellent. She's washing the windows. She's doing something cool back there. Little small peeps. All right. Are we ready to take a deep breath or two or three or four? This is the time of year where deep breaths get a little messy. You got to have a little Kleenex around. You exhale too deeply, and we might have a wardrobe malfunction. I'm going to choose us a card here. Oh, isn't that interesting? Because it matches what I'm going to read this morning. It's the Forever Present card. Forever Present. So this particular set that I love is called the Peace Oracle. And it's guidance for challenging times. So I don't know who else is feeling challenged, but I'm feeling a little challenged. So this card shows up at just the right time. And it starts with a Cheyenne prayer for peace. So let the air draw in. Let it filter down to the fingers, down to the toes, and then release it out. And then allow another breath to be drawn in. Filter it to the scalp, filter it behind the knees, and then let it release. And then third breath, we're going to fill all the way from the tailbone to the crown of the head. Really clear out that energy channel. Once you're completely full, let that energy mix a little bit, and then sigh it out. And then just notice what stillness is like, just for a moment. Allowing the breath to come and go easily. Let us know peace, for as long as the moon shall rise, for as long as the rivers shall flow, for as long as the sun shall shine, for as long as the grass shall grow. Let us know peace. Peace is not the absence of war or a momentary relief from suffering. It is eternal. Once, long ago, humanity knew peace, and to peace we shall return. You can know peace now. It is right here. Embrace it. So bring the hands together in front of the heart. Draw a breath in. Fill the space between the palms with that breath. Leave it there, but exhale out the lungs. And draw this affirmation in between those hands. I call on my pain, my anguish, my fears. I call on my joy, my gratitude, my hope. I am safe to express every part of me. I call on the unsung songs and the unspent tears. Come forward now. Be realized. Be free. Draw on what that means to you. And then with a breath in, we're going to take that right arm out, leaving the left hand where it is, opening through the shoulder. Extend away from the body. Press through the middle finger until you can feel space show up in that shoulder joint. And then if you can, press a little more and find space in the elbow. And then a little more until there's space in the wrist. And possibly spread the fingers wide until there's space in the palm. Because until there's space, our bags are packed a little too tightly. And sometimes it's hard to get free of the body, and all we want is a little freedom. But stretch and stretch and stretch. Now take that thumb, start to press it behind you. And so that shoulder comes forward a little bit, the sternum rises, the thumb reaches back, we reach back, we reach back, we breathe in, find the very edges of the space, and then slowly draw it back in. There we go. Left arm reaches out. You can do all your magic stuff if you need to. Big Harry Potter arms. But reach. Find that shoulder joint first and see if there's a way to release the tissue in the shoulder. If you've had shoulder surgeries or injuries, you may have to really play with the space in there until, oh, there's a little more. Feel it as it runs down the bicep to the elbow. From elbow down the radius and the ulna, find the space in the wrist. Extend that middle finger, spread that palm wide. Breathe in all the way to the fingertips. And then start to extend that thumb back. Opening the front side of the shoulder, stretching through the pecs and the delts. Breathing in. Lift the front of the rib cage. Find a tiny little arch in that spine. The next breath fills you so completely like a balloon. You could just lift up away from your floor or your cushion or your chair. And then, like an accordion, close back up. See if there's an unsung song in there. This time, right arm reaches up. Now the back of the arm or the back of the hand is reaching up. So I've got my wrist reaching up. Anybody that ever studied Kung Fu, this is a particular type of strike with the back of that wrist. And it's a very strong place on the body. And we reach up and we pull those fingertips and point them down toward the head as best we can. For those of you that lift weights, this is a great thing to do. So we've got our masculine side reaching up, and then unfurl those fingers. Let that palm open up and try to take the fingers down toward the elbow on the other side. It's not going to go. But if somebody walked up with a cosmic platter and stuck a cosmic platter on your hand, you'd want to be able to press that platter right up overhead and not have a single grape fall off. Press, lift, stretch through the ribs. Yes, this is just excruciatingly slow. It's so yummy. Reach and reach and reach. More space in the side, more space in the side. Breathe in. And then, feel the relief. All we were doing was raising the hand. We're just raising the hand. We're just saying, hey, we're here. We're available. Angels, guides, here. It's me. Pick me. Left hand, back of the wrist goes straight up. Fingertips down toward the head, as if you're reaching for your hair. You want to like give yourself one of those little, I don't know, those little spit curl things on the top. They were so popular back in the day. Reach, pull, really get those ribs out of that hip. This is the feminine side of the body. Reach, extend, and then flip the hand. Put that cosmic platter right there in the hand. And then start to use the breath. The breath becomes like a can opener. And we want to really start reaching and extending through those oblique muscles. Releasing stuck energy. Press up through the palm, up through the palm, up through the palm. One more breath in. And then find equilibrium right there in the center. Beautiful. Now it's time to add legs. If you're on a cushion, you can stay on a cushion. I'm going to move mine. However, if you need a strap for the hamstrings, then find a strap for the hamstrings. But as always, move the pizza and the chicken out of the way. Make sure that you got a little solid contact with those sits bones. Once you're in, let both arms slide out and then just give yourself a little shift from side to side. And a Jenny favorite here, you can march forward through the sits bones and march backwards if you want to. But really start brightening up that lower ab region. Ah, there you go. As if there's someone just beyond you that you just, you're having that soulmate moment. You're just like, reaching for them. Yes. Oh, I see you all. You're reaching. I love you. I love you. I love you. See if you can get me. Oh, because cosmically, just sent little cosmic butterflies all over you. All right, so sternum is going to come forward. Reach through those fingertips. Let the left hand come down and start to reach more through that right. So I'm going to turn just a little. That right is going to reach out and up, like you're trying to grab the seam where the wall and the ceiling come together. And the hamstrings are going to start going, hey. Let them have their little hey moment. And then loosen through the shoulder, loosen through the elbow, loosen through the wrist, loosen through the fingertips. And then look at the feet. If you've got feet curling toward each other, you're trying to avoid the hamstrings. If they're curling out or the toes are rolling out, bring everything up and then reach for that right foot. If you can only reach the shin, you can only reach the shin. There's no judgment. Why would we apply that here? So just the right side. Left leg could bend if it wanted to. It could do all manner of things. Just seeing what this loop of the right side has to bring to the table today. It might be really tight if you've been really gripping, really, or doing, really strong things, fixing the house, digging in the yard. This side could be a little stuck. Next breath in, takes that hand, lifts it up. It's going to go all the way behind. We're going to turn and give ourselves a little bit of a twist. Going to look up there at the cosmos. Have a breath in and a breath out. And then unwind. Oh yeah, left side. Reaching up and then forward. And if those hamstrings were already squeaking, well, they're going to squeak a little more now, aren't they? All right, find that extension. So if you find that left hip is trying to curl up and you're trying to crunch down and in, that's the body avoiding. So this is our creative side. This is our feminine side. If it needs to move and it needs to wander, let it. But eventually find the space in this left shoulder. Find the space in the elbow. As much space as you can between elbow and wrist, across that palm, and then make space in the back between the shoulder blades with a big deep breath. And then let that hand come down. It lands on the shin, it lands on the foot, it goes where it needs to go. And then look for the length in that left hamstring. You could even kind of lean into it a little bit. That way the right's not, having that wee all the way home kind of feeling. Wee. Find 2 more breaths here. One more. Filling and releasing. Release that strap if you've got it there. Lift up, back, find that floor behind you. Give yourself that grandiose twist. Checking in with this energy. So right side of the brain, creative thinking, artistry, colors, reading, language, all that beautiful stuff. Well, more flowery language, not actually sentence structure. But that left side is that analytical. That's where your sentence structure is, your math is, a lot of your science concepts. So right functions left, left functions right. Unwind. Both hands go up. Reach in, find that space in those shoulders, find it in the elbows, find it in the wrist, find it in that low back, and then total forward fold, nose right in between the knees. Finding that balance and just kind of going, I could reach farther with my right hand or my left hand. And now here in the center, I'm noticing bleh. Breathing in, breathing out, roll it up, stand those feet side by side, hands go right behind the tush, pelvis lifts, tabletop. So while we're here, let's just talk about this belly for a second. Here we go. All right. I want to breathe into the belly. I want to kind of give it a little side-eye gaze down there. And I want that belly to blow up like a balloon. I mean, like you got a food baby going on. Hugest breakfast ever. And then let it drop down and in toward the spine. Breathe in. Really poof it out. Belly button to the spine. One more time. Belly button to the ceiling. Really squeeze into those glutes. Let that belly button drop to the spine. And then slowly, like it's almost painful, like there's a hot coal under the tush. You don't quite want to put the tush down on the hot coal. Let that tush get real close to the floor, but don't put it down quite yet. Have a little breath here. Notice where you're sagging up top. So my right shoulder is rolling way forward. So I want to concentrate and roll that back. Now there's a little more balance in my chest. There's more weight in my left foot than my right foot. Okay. If arthritis is killing you, go ahead and put that tush down. Lift the legs instead and get the ab work. So now press equally from the hands, press equally from the feet. Lift the hips one more time. Notice by feeling each hand that the shoulders might be a little more equal. The feet, so the knees might be a little more equal. Press the belly button up toward the ceiling. Let it sink toward the spine. Tush comes all the way down, soles of the feet together. Grab for the ankles, little butterfly. Everybody got feeling back in their arms now? Just the butterflies. It's all good. All right. Pause the legs. Right arm reaches up. Now, what could I do with my right arm here? What kind of monkey business could I get up to? I mean, it's like, okay. If I was a spider monkey hanging out in a tree, what could I get up to with this arm? Could I take this left arm and put it back and reach and extend so that I had a little bit of a back bend going on, but maybe that wrist is a little funky right now, so I could hold on and reach to the side instead. So find a space that needs space. Yes, get in there, dig around, find that spot you've been hiding from yourself. Give it one more breath. Lift it up and in, grab hold of those ankles or toes, and come on down for the first toe sniff of the morning. The nice thing is it's not far on in the day. So we haven't quite gotten that full shoe smell going on. Make space in the lungs. Roll that body up, grab that left ankle, right ankle, grab the right ankle, and the left arm goes up. Nothing if we're not human, right? Find the space. Be the little spider monkey. They're so cute. They look like they got little blonde beards on and little blonde mustache. They're just awesome. Find that space in the body that's really gonna free you up as you hang on with your tail. God, I wish I had a tail. I really feel cheated in this lifetime that I didn't get a tail. There's my space. Oh my goodness. I leaned out to this right side and my whole left leg went, what are you doing? Yes. Oh, there it went. Lots of breath. Find the space. Reach. Find that joint. Yes. Give it a little more. And then come in. Curl it down. Inner thigh stretch. If this is too uncomfortable and you need to take the legs further out in front of you, please do. Pleasey, pleasey, please. There we go. Roll it up. It is time for the socks to come off. Yes. Bring it up and in, and then windshield wipers. Let those inner thighs come down and make contact with the floor. Start to roll a little more. And if any of this is painful, make sure that you switch it up. I mean, you could really extend through those legs and get that inner thigh down toward the floor, kind of almost toward a pigeon posture. Just move like you and then start to add that opposite arm. But notice, left arm goes up. Okay, this is my feminine side. This is my creativity. Am I doing things that are creative? Brene Brown has a list of 10 things, I think it's 10 things, that for wholehearted living. And one of them, she says she originally called messing around because she was such a cerebral person, she didn't actually know how to play. So for her, finding her right side of her body is probably, left side of her body is probably tough. Next time your right hand goes up, extend through the fingers, extend through that sternum space, and start to turn in toward that left knee. There we go. So we got that masculine arm up in the air, I got my biceps going on. This is where I do my holding. This is where, when things get serious, that's when that fist balls up. That's when the energy travels up that arm into that neck, ends up in that jaw. Sometimes that right knee gets painful. Reach and reach and reach left, that right hand, come down, bend over that left knee. Breathe the belly into that feminine leg. And it's not, so really, the fact that I'm talking about masculine and feminine sides, a lot of people will laugh because I used to be like, this is such junk. Masculine side, feminine side. See it kind of like Aesop's fables if it's hard to kind of wrap the mind around. But we do have a dominant hand. We do have a dominant side of the mind. One more breath. And so we will be tighter on one side than the other. If you're tight on your left side, it's time to find something creative to do. Roll that body up. And then unwind off to the opposite side. See if you can get that same amount of stretch out of that groin space. It can be little, but you could really get in there if you wanted to. And then find that armpit, find that torso twist. Reach and reach and reach. If you get to a point where you can't breathe and you're going, okay, back off a little. That's a stress response. We don't need any of that. We got enough of that. Find a little more space in the belly, a little more extension, a little more reach, a lot more breath. Yes, that creativity, reach it up and then put that down. The belly rolls down over that masculine leg. Finding all that's good and perfect in the body. If you can get that forehead all the way down onto the floor, see if you can get it there. Maybe the eyebrows kiss down on the knee. But notice what starts to give way in the left glutes, that left inner thigh. And then we're going to be a little creative with how we roll out of this. So we start to lift through the hands, lift through the hands, lift through the hands. Curl those left toes under, step that right leg back. Hello, plank position. Yes. Right foot steps back, left foot steps back, knees come down. If this is not your shtick, do your table. Have all fours. Hey, Hazel. What's going on, Hazel? Yes. Tell everybody all about it, Hazel. Pull that belly button in. 3 more breaths right here. I love all of the modifications. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more big one. If you were a down dog person, lift, press, and then pedal those heels. If you are not a down dog person, put your knees down with me. Maybe put something under the wrists if you need it. And then walk one leg back and down, back and down. Beautiful. So if you're in that down dog, really make sure that you've got good contact with the entire circle of the palm. It's the same thing in tabletop. You're just going to have a whole lot less force on those wrists and hands. Pay attention to the pads of all the fingertips and the joints of each finger, because a lot of us are going to have that one side where all the little knuckles want to pop up off the mat. Keep marching. This is going to get the heart rate up just a little. And then those of you in a downward facing dog, go ahead and stretch those heels down toward the floor and really lengthen through the backs of the legs. While they're lengthening, we've got one on the right, one on the left, one more on the right or your other left, and then one more here. Both knees come down. If you are in that downward facing dog and you need to come down to knees, come on down. But if you're going to stay in your dog, right leg goes up and back. There you go. So press of the hands is important. Belly button draws in to support that spine. We've got that right leg back. Maybe even look back, toes pointed down toward the ground. Nice long spine. And then take that right hip, roll it up toward the ceiling, and then back down toward the ground. Up toward the ceiling, down toward the ground. Up toward the ceiling, down toward the ground. Now roll it up, bend that knee, heel kicks toward your left glute. If you need to come down to forearms, come down to forearms. Breathing in, breathing out, unfurl knees together, those in downward facing dog. Everybody comes down, crumple down. I like to stack my fists and put my head on my hands. There you go. Everybody good? Just checking in. Beautiful. Notice what it's like to really just pay attention to one side of the body. So while that pelvis is rolling and those hands are planted, we're giving ourselves a space to root in and then another space to fly free from. It's where our balance comes from. Breathe it in. Exhale it out. One more side. Yes, God gave us 2 sides. We come up to the table. We really extend into that downward facing dog. Whatever floats your boat. Plant that right foot or knee. Left leg extends out. Belly button draws in. Toes down toward the ground. Wonderfully conscious contact with the entire circle of both palms. Reaching back, reaching back, reaching back. Reach forward through the crown of the head. Really get that extension and then start to roll the left hip up and then the left hip down. And then the hip rolls up and the hip rolls down. So what you're going to come up against is that pelvis rolls open. One side is going to have popped open, just easy as that. The other side is going to go, what? So this side, my right lower back tries to figure out how to do this exercise for me. The other side, oh, I had totally different muscles working. So I got to remember that for future. Roll that left hip open. Oh, yeah. And then kick that heel back if it'll go. If you want to turn and look at that heel for that full belly extension and that spinal twist, you're welcome to. You're welcome. Breathing in. Breathing out. Kick that leg back, roll it down, find those knees. One more time. Come on down. Child pose. I recognize that child pose is not comfortable for all knees. So hips can lift. That's perfectly fine. If our knees are starting to get really, really growly and grumpy, legs can try to go wider. If that doesn't work either, go ahead on up to standing position. We got one more big breath here. Those of you that want to go through downward facing dog or a full sun salutation, you're welcome to here. Otherwise, like Transformers, just come on up to standing position. But if you want to do the down dog, find that down dog. Roll forward into plank. Drop down, chaturanga. Lift, upward facing. Toes curl downward. Look up at the front of that mat. Jump, hop, or step to the front edge of that mat. Forward fold. Knees bend, body rolls up systematically. When you come up to the top, take a moment. Just have a moment as you roll up. Notice what the length has done. We got up this morning, we walked around. You know, if you're going to be watching this on YouTube later, you got up, you walked around, you did all the things you did all the day long, and then you sat down. And then we lengthened. So now what's it like to be back over the feet? My right arch is popping up away from the ground. I'm really heavy in that right foot. Got control going on. All right. Shift, sway through the pelvis, belly draws in, shoulder blades. Those shoulder blades, yeah, get that. Roll them up and back. There you go. Let them kiss there in the back. Roll them again. Let them kiss in the back. If something on the body should make out, it should be the tips of the shoulder blades. Yes, there you go. One more time. Now hold those hands open. Open up. And then reach right side out, reach. It may not feel like much, but all of a sudden, you're going to get this sensation that's going to move down that arm. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax. Other side, reach. There it is. It's not as hard for me on this side. This is all like a giant science experiment to me. Life is a giant science experiment. Soul science experiment. Pull that in. Shoulder blades roll back. One more time. Both hands reach down and out. Heels roll up away from the floor. This is where the balance aspect is going to start coming in. And this is where we're really going to start noticing what's up with right and left sides of the body. Lift the heels. Put those cosmic pumps on. Oh, yeah. Make them any color you want. Reach up through the crown of that head. The corners of the mouth even turn up toward the temples. Breathe in. And all back into the center. Prayer position. There we go. Hip distance apart, maybe slightly wider with the feet. There we go. So like I mention often, hip distance, not fluff distance. Okay. There's a difference. All right. So we got hip distance. I'm coming down, maybe slightly wider to the outsides of those hip bones, right there, pelvis, press down, open up, prayer position, palms press together. Breathe into the space in between the palms. Leave that space in between the palms that you just cosmically put there. Let the breath escape. 2 more times. Breathe in, fill that space. Leave the cosmos there, let the air escape. 3rd breath, press even harder with the hands. Breathe in. When the breath comes in, leave the feet glued to the floor, but draw the inner thighs a little closer together. And notice how that zips up the front of the body and the spine lengthens. And then as the breath returns to normal, or it tries, we're really pulling the halves of the body in and together. We're going to shift into the right foot because most of us are right foot dominant. You lefties, you're welcome to go left, but we're going to kind of spring out of here. So let's do right foot first. Reach up through the crown of the head. You've still got inner thigh squeeze. Here, let's shift left. Keep that inner thigh squeeze. See what happens. Shift right, inner thigh squeeze. Shift left, inner thigh squeeze. Things should start shaking by now. Shift right. Bring that left knee up. See if you can maintain the thought of inner thigh squeeze. Lift the knee, squeeze the hands, lift the knee, breathe in. Breathe out, drop that left foot across the right, press the fingertips up. Breathing in, squeeze those inner thighs together. Inhale, exhale, and then leaving the hands up if you can, let that left knee rise, lift, squeeze, press the palms together. Then slide that foot behind the right foot, cosmic curtsy, arms come out back. Now I like to kiss my knee to the back of my calf because this is also an old Kung Fu move from when I was studying Kung Fu, and it's stabilizing. It gets you down nice and low, and it's like a tripod. Breathing in, breathing out. Morning, Ed. He's in. Excellent. Now, bring those hands together. Shoot them up, and we're going to bring that foot up into tree posture. It might be a low tree. If you really need to push for it, grab that foot and bring it in. But squeeze the palms together, or if you've got cactus arms, press the elbows behind you a little. Lifting, pulling, really find the center. We've got strong side of the body being strong, and then a creative shape with creative side of the body. Breathe in, breathe out, feet together, hands at prayer. Snuggle those ankles really close together. Press that inner thigh meat together. That made us all sound like fryer chickens. The inner thigh goodness, how about that? Breathing in, breathing out. And then find a space that's just you. No doing, no effort. Look for space. How am I different in this moment? With a breath, find that floor again. Hip distance or slightly beyond the bones. Press it down. Palms press together. Like, there's pressing, and then there's pressing until the pec wall lifts up. If it's not good for arthritis, you got one side that's worse than the other, you can do the old Kung Fu or pretend. It'll still jump up. press, squeeze. Now zip up, pull those inner thighs together. Belly button draws in. Breath wants to get short, but I am the master of my ship. I will regulate my breathing even though I am zipped up from the bottom up. Cervical spine gets long, gets long, gets long, gets long. Shift left. And then we're going to shift right again. Keep that inner thigh squeeze, 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 squeeze. Don't let it go even though the hips are shifting. One more time. Now shift left, squeeze. Keep those palms pressed. Lift. Now here's the thing. Our strong leg for most of us is coming up. Like 95% of the world is right-handed. So you lefties, you're nailed to the ground right now. Righties are probably all over the map. And it's cool because this is more of a creative flowing movement. It also speaks of the muscles I work more often than others. Take that right leg, drop it down across left, squeeze those inner thighs together, press those fingertips up. If that doesn't work with your shoulder structure, find cactus. Squeeze, 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 press palms together or press elbows back, holding here. Notice if it's easier to hold here or harder. Breathe in. Breathe out, shift. That right knee is coming up again. Coming up, lifting, coming up, lifting. It's coming up, it's lifting. And then slowly put that right knee down behind that left leg. Bring it down and in like a grasshopper that is going to spring up and away. Knee makes contact if it wants to, or if you're super flexible, take it way down. Really get into that ham and that hip. But if not, and then go creative on it. Breathing in, breathing out, hands together in prayer. Tree postures next. Press down, lift up, press down, lift up, press down, lift up. What needs to go with you in order to make this happen? So, thinking about that standing foot, could I press my hands together, cause my scalp to rise, cause my belly button to draw in, my right knee to reach back, and firm everything up from the ground up, or could I open up? Now, my creative side is definitely squawking like a cockatoo in a Guatemalan jungle at sunrise, sitting on top of a pyramid. And then when you're ready, release it out. Notice if it was a little easier to not judge the wobble today. I wobbled. Okay, so Zoe said that to me yesterday. We're reading about manatees. The manatee's closest relative is the elephant. And I was like, Zoe, isn't that cool? She goes, so? Let the hands come down. Breathe into the collarbones. Reaffirm that press down with the feet. Squeeze those inner thighs until they just hug that tailbone. Squeeze the inner thighs, squeeze the inner thighs. Shift and shift and shift. And then here goes the madness again. It's going to be fantastic. This time we're going to do it though with our right hand on our hip. It's my other right. And I've got my showman's arm out here with my left. And then I'm going to come center. Breathe it in. And then I'm going to shift into that right leg again. I'm going to lift that left knee again. And so now I'm mildly hamstringing myself by taking my right arm out of the whole process. I'm going to let that left leg swing open. into the cosmic Captain Morgan. I'm going to let that left arm rise, and that right arm really wants to participate. But see if you can replace the right arm with the squeeze of the right glute. Breathe in, breathe out. Now this leg is going to step down and away, and then I'm going to triangle it right on down and in. But I'm not, this back hand, it really wants to rise because I've been trained like a good yogi to let that arm pop up. What happens if it doesn't? Ooh, is it going to really mess with my chi? Or could I then think about my shoulder blade? What if my shoulder blade moves toward my spine? My belly button draws in, my right glute firms up, my left knee becomes a little spongy, and I reach out more through that left hand. Breathing in, breathing out, reach up and away, up and away. Inhale, exhale. Now, knees are going to bend. Hang on for the ride. Knees are going to bend. That elbow is going to sweep down. The toes are going to all turn forward. And we're going to come down like the elbow is going to come as close to the knee as it can. And then we're going to launch ourselves up. Wait for it. We're going to launch with elbow on knee. Ooh. See, kind of groovy. We don't need no right arm. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Everything comes down. Arms drip. Let any excess energy go right out those fingertips. Find the breath. Is it easier to find the feet now as part of my entire body equation? Is it easier with a cue to find the scalp or the outside edge of the left hip or the steaminess of the right armpit? Left hand. There you go. If you got to get the snap in there, do that too. Reach down and away with the right arm. Oh yeah. Breathing in, breathing out. Shift and shift. Inner thighs squeeze together. Now, I noticed that I didn't automatically do that on this side for whatever reason. I put that right hand out and I didn't zip myself up. When I did it on the left side, I automatically did it. I zipped up. Something to think about. Come on over, shift left just a little. Keep that hand out, knee lifts, little flex in that foot. Oh yeah. Plug that left hand into that left hip. Squeeze that left glute. If your toes are still on the ground, there's no judgment here. You got to keep yourself safe. And then open that knee. Oh yeah, uh-oh. Squeeze the left glute. Pull the belly button in. Reach through the crown of the head. Turn the corners of the lips up. They will support you. And then slowly that leg comes out and down. Toes greet the mat. And then that left shoulder blade reaches back toward the spine. Little sponge in that right knee. Chin draws in toward the hollow of the throat. So here's the thing. Am I all in line? I'm actually a little behind the line of my body, or am I up here? So this is back work. I'm reaching out here. This is my oblique work. I want to make sure that I'm all in line. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then sweep up and back. Oh, yes. Nice long line. Left toe, right toes, right. Those are my right ones. Right toes, right fingers. Yes. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Ready for the toes to turn forward. Elbow sweeps down and in. Ready for the launch. Get ready. Oh, yeah. 3, 2, 1. Oh, slide and lift. Keep that kiss between the elbow and the knee if you can. Inhaling. Exhaling, squeeze that left glute. For some reason, I felt the need to reach back there and grab it. Alas. Inhale, exhale, release. Oh, and then shake it out. All right. Woo. If you need to just let that whole spirit and that whole system really spin out, wonderful. If you got to give it some hip circles and really let them go, let them go, let it go, let it go. Sorry. Oh, God. Nobody bombed me with emails that you couldn't get that song out of your head for the rest of the day. All right. Last thing. Toes are going to go wide. You guys be gentle on your knees and hips. I'm shifting and shifting. Okay? Got our goddess posture coming on. That's right. We did the masculine. We did the feminine. We got the goddess posture coming on. And we're going to own it. Yes. Now slowly sink that tailbone down into it. And now that we've done this left and right work, goddess needs to come right down as if a lightning bolt went down through the center of the head, through the spine, and then glued the tailbone to the floor. Yes. Once you're here with the legs and you're going, well, what do I do with my arms? Well, ooh, there we go. We're going to pull the belly button in, which is going to make those inner thighs go, hey, good. And then cactus arms. Think about the shoulder blades again. Those are your angel wings. Bring those back and together. Fingertips wide. Curl the toes up away from the floor if you can. Yeah, ball of the foot and heel are on the floor, but the toes peel up and away. Notice what this does. Oh. Does it cause the chi to rise? If you had queso for breakfast, it could cause the cheese to rise. Breathe in, breathe out, drop another inch. Oh, see, there it is. There it is. Even Hazel's got it. There you go, Hazel. Lift it up. Oh, straighten those legs. Breathe in. Hug yourself. Snuggle yourself. It's okay. Because here we go again. So here's your balanced posture. The knee to the hand, the knee to the hand. I could draw a line between the two. I've got an X across my body. I've got a line down through the center of the body. I could bisect myself, dissect myself into equal pieces. Breathe in, breathe out. Hands to hips, legs straighten, toes forward, forward fold. Back of a chair if you need it. Forward fold, knees bent if you need it. Because we have arrived. We started, we middled, we ended. And our right half came along for the ride with our left half. And our left pinky toe came along for the ride with our right earlobe. Breathe in and breathe out. If you want to jump, hop, or step back into a plank, you're welcome to. We're going to come back down to seated, but for those that want to go through that sun salutation, move over here. You could jump, hop, or step. The knees could come down if they need to. Otherwise, lower down chaturanga. Hips, chest, upper body lifts. Downward facing dog or child pose. Hold those as long as you need to. Otherwise, shift. Maybe put a cushion under the hips. But if you're going to go up into a handstand, play. If you're in that downward facing dog and you want to do your pop-up, awesome. Headstand, all of it. Slowly just sitting in a chair, sitting on the ground, moving mama's mac and cheese out of the way. I'm telling you, I ate Velveeta as a child. I've been moving it out of my way all my life. It's just the way yumminess works. Long spine. Start the breath again. Breathe down to the tailbone and the sits bones. All the way up. And let it come all the way back out. Now, if you don't have sinus issues right now, you're going to take your thumb, plug up the right side of your nose, and just breathe in and out through the left nostril. If it feels dumb to do it this way, do it this way. But everybody's going to think we're picking our noses. So we don't want to look like that. Or you could. I don't care. Whatever. I have a 10-year-old. Breathing in and out of the left. Unlock the jaw. Spare the dental work. No breathing exercise is worth a copay. Just through the left. One more breath in and out. One full breath through both nostrils. And then left side. Snuggling with the left nostril. Allow full flow of air, if it will come, in and out of the right. If you have to exhale through the mouth every now and then, that's perfectly normal because we're not used to this. But exercises like this take our brain waves that are really rocking up and down while we're moving through yoga, mountain peaks, and start to level those peaks and valleys. One more full breath in and out. And then let that hand rest. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Stretching through that creative energy over there. Take that left hand, reach out. See if you can find a stretch all the way from the hair on the tippy top. For those of you that don't have hair anymore, it's not a judgment. Pretend there is one. All the way to the tip of that left finger. Oh, yeah. You're going to have one side that's tighter than the other. Just kind of imagine what it is that the tighter side thinks it's helping you with. One more breath. Exhale it out. Hand comes in, head rolls up. Woo! Chin down to chest. Cervical spine. A little wobble of the head. Teeny wobble. Teeny. Wobble with it, wobble with it, wobble with it. Here we go. Bring the head to center, lift it straight back up, and then left ear, left shoulder. And then after this, after we take this right hand and slice it out into the cosmos over here, because I tell you, the more time I spend alone, the more I see that the creators of these movies like Inception, where everything morphs and separate realities squish in and slice in together, they're not that far off the mark. It's So my energy expands beyond my food body here. So what am I actually reaching into? I'm reaching out into my own energy space. Breathe it in, lift. If you want to stay in a meditation space, seated, feel free. If you need to have your woosah and lay it out, now is the time. Grab a blankie, roll yourself out. Turn the lights down low. Oh, now Bob Marley is humming through my head, that unsung song. As we start to really let the body and those brain waves meet in that balanced space, I'll read this one more time. I call on my pain, my anguish, my fears. I call on my joy, my gratitude, my hope. I am safe to express every part of me. I call on the unsung songs and the unspent tears. Come forward now. Be realized. Be free. Find your freedom space here. Give yourself 3 deep breaths and then just dissolve for a little while. I'll keep watch. And as I reach out into the quantum, my energy bumps and Ed's very intense energy. I'm going to bring something to the table that Ed brought to me. It sometimes feels like leaping off of a cliff simply to stay present with what is. Practice shifts and shapes me, shaves off my roughest edges, illumines the dark places. As my focus of awareness shifts, life breathes me, and energy is freed to heal even the most hopeless rifts. By Donna Faulds. Let breath move in. Let breath escape. Filling in. Releasing out. And then one more time, breath fills. Breath escapes. And then breathe into all that space and ohm it out, right where you are. Thank you, and thank you. From my third eye to my lips, my heart, and my hands. May I see truth, feel truth, speak truth, and only love through the heart. Namaste. I love you all. Thank you all for being you, beautiful you. You are gorgeous beings. Just